You're listening to Open for Discussion, hosted by Candice and Emilee. Your mom might have told you that certain topics were not open for discussion, but for these two millennial moms, no topic is off the table. Everything is open for discussion.
So, open for discussion topic today. We're discussing fashion, your sense of style, and you do have it, you just don't know it yet.
Sure. I believe you.
Thank you. Yeah, because I went to school for fashion design and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm clueless. I'm a fresh, clean, blank slate for you to.
Yeah, but you do have a style. You do. You're a little edgy.
Okay.
You're a little clean girl aesthetic. Okay. And you definitely rock the whole, like, I'm a mom, but I make this messy bun look cute. Okay?
Okay.
And I feel like that's very millennial vibes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That does feel very millennial.
Yeah. See?
Okay.
Because you're a little edgy with your little nose ring and your tattoos.
That's true. I do have a lot of tattoos.
I love it.
I feel like when I was in middle school and high school, I had a sense of style. Like,
did you?
I mean, I had an identifiable style. I was emo in middle school.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I was like semi-preppy.
Okay. So, what is it? What's that store they used to spray all the stuff at you?
Like Hollister and Abercrombie.
Abercrombie, yes, those two.
I was more of an American Eagle.
That one.
On the American Eagle side of things.
With the collared shirts and the polo that said like Aeropostale.
And like layer after layer after layer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, I still do that. I still have to have
like
an undershirt.
I always have to have like a cami underneath whatever.
Yeah, always. I will never get rid of that. No.
Once I like hit my 20s and got to college, I was very like skater girl.
That was the vibe.
Short dresses. And then when I had kids, I completely was like, whatever is on sale, whatever is comfortable.
Yeah.
And whatever looks okay. But I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to look like or any sense of like identity when it came to fashion.
See, for me growing up in like middle school, high school, if we go back that far, because that's pretty far, I was definitely like in this realm where I was like, okay, I'm this emo punk vibe that's going like, I loved No Doubt. I was super into like Dashboard Confessional is my favorite band in the entire world. It still is.
I love Dashboard Confessional.
Hands down is my favorite song. So I love them. Yeah, so like that era of like the emo and like all that stuff, because you'd have like the bracelets and the wristlets and all that other stuff and the bracelets. Yes. And like the super dark liner and the you know what I'm talking about, like the duck face.
The MySpace duck face peace sign pose.
Yeah.
The mirror picture.
Oh my god, yeah, with the always. I always did that. But so like middle school, I guess like I went through puberty early. So like I had this curvy body and, you know, had stuff. I was going to say junk in the trunk. God. So like when you would listen to like Destiny's Child and like all of the like late 2000s music, which I still think is like one of the best genres ever, whatever. That was a big influence because then like the bedazzled jeans came out and the hip huggers. And then now we're talking about into high school. So we're talking like 04, 05, because I graduated in 09. And like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera were all like this big thing where you could see your G string out. So like when you're talking about influences and what you really kind of want to look like, that's what I wanted to look like. So that was really hard for me going through middle school and high school. Like I would wear a tank top and an oversized zip up hoodie. I had no actual sense of style. I loved clothes. I loved the Fashion Network. I could tell you what was in style, how to dress your body. and all that stuff. And I learned how to like do pattern making for clothes at like freshman, sophomore year at vocational school. And I made all of my prom dresses, all of my semi-formal dresses to fit me, which was really hard back then because like if you weren't a size, I don't know, 00, like you couldn't fit in anything.
Yeah.
And that was really hard for me growing up. So by the time like, I don't know, I became a hairstylist in 2009, like I got my license, and then I started working in a salon. That's when everything kind of changed with clothes. That's when you would start wearing like corporate wear to clubs. You remember like what was it? The poof?
No, but the bumpets. Do you remember the bumpets?
I do remember but I never had to do the bump it because I knew how to tease my hair enough.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like,
No, I never bought a bumpet, but yeah, I would tease the heck out of my hair.
Like it would look like
Yeah.
a pageant show. Like, I don't know if you remember this show. It was on the Style Network. It was called Jerseylicious.
No.
No? Okay, you have to Google this. Yeah, so Jerseylicious was a whole bunch of like North Jersey hairstylists. And they would always say like the bigger the hair or the higher the hair, the closer to heaven. Like it was very like now the whole mob wife aesthetic is in.
Oh, yeah.
So with the cheetah and the zebra and the oversized and dark liner and all this other stuff, like the over exaggerated clothing.
Okay, but I will say that I think that specific style was very highly regional and located here in New Jersey, because I was living in Colorado and in Minnesota during this time, and the vibe was very different.
Was it?
In those areas. Like there was a very particular, I feel like, upper Midwest prep vibe that happened in like 2006 to like 2010, where it was just a very, very specific look. And that was the look that I was aiming for. I didn't really pay attention to celebrities as much. Like you talked about Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera or whatever. And I would like see those things and be like, oh, that's cute, or oh, that's pretty, or whatever. But I never aspired to look like that. I just wanted to look like the other girls at my high school. And they were all wearing Abercrombie, you know?
And then where mine was completely flipped around, I was like, oh no, like I'm getting celebrity, like you have to look like this, and here's this new diet pill, but you should also like not have too much skin, but here's body glitter. Remember body glitter? Like roll on body glitter.
It's back.
It's okay.
It's back. Well, that's so interesting though, that the regional differences that we had when we were in high school, because this is before the internet blew up and before social media really blew up and became
we
a
just
big
had
thing. MySpace and Facebook, like early Facebook. But now I feel like kids are, well, I say kids, like teenagers and high schoolers are able to see what high schoolers across the country are wearing. So I wonder if the styles are like more consistent across space because they can see what each other are wearing, you know? Probably. I never really thought about that before, how style must be more, it's more visible because of the internet.
Yeah, I can definitely say it's more visible. Like you're not just getting a 17 or Cosmo magazine anymore. But I just remember like walking into Rue 21, even though they're like collapsing right now. They're not around anymore.
Yeah, they're all closing.
But I remember walking in there, and when I worked at Hair Cuttery, to me that was like I had made it as a hairstylist. Because I was like actually a stylist, and I wasn't an assistant, I wasn't anything else. Like I had my own chair, all that other stuff, and you had to wear white and black. There was no gray, there was no color. Like that was what you had to wear. That was your uniform. You could wear whatever you wanted, but as long as it was black and white. So cheetah was not black and white, but they had snow leopard. See where I'm going here? And I wore zebra. Everything was zebra.
Oh my God.
And my hair was so, because I have curly hair, my hair was so curly that if you could just crunch it and you could hear it with the amount of mousse and everything else in there. I just had like this tan face of mousse. I remember, like, if you see that girl that's on
matte mousse,
yes. I love that stuff with my thin eyebrows.
That stuff.
wing liner,
Oh yeah.
solid thick wing liner, and red lips.
At least you didn't do the concealer lips. I did the
I
concealer
didn't
lips.
do the concealer lips. I did like a really light nude color, but it was like high gloss. Or in
Oh.
high school, I did, they had like the brown liner,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was it. Like, and then you put clear gloss over it.
Yep.
That was disgusting. I don't know why I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like every day was getting up. It was like a production to get dressed.
Mm.
Like hair, makeup, full everything. And my Beetle, because I had an '01 Beetle at the time. RIP to my poor little Beetle. Smelled like a hair salon with the amount of hairspray.
Mm.
So that was like my big thing with like going through college was always the corporate, like the statement necklace or the long like owl necklace and the sweaters.
Yes.
Going to the club. Did you ever go to the club? Did you ever?
Yes. When I was in college in Minnesota, I went to the club. I didn't go after I moved to Colorado. So I had like outgrown it basically. But yes, but the years that I did go to the club were prime corporate wear at the club years.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
I don't
was that the
know.
thing?
I don't know. But like, I absolutely the statement necklace with like the huge,
the big,
the
like,
huge like
turquoise.
beads or yeah, oh yeah, I was all about that.
Okay, so let me ask you, right now, your ideal outfit, like right now, like let's say whatever your perfect time of year, all the stars align. What is your like ideal comfy go-to? And it doesn't have to be anything you own right now, but if you could visualize yourself having the perfect outfit, what would it be?
This is a hard question. I think it's mom jeans that fit me really well. And a tank top that has a built-in bra.
You know those are coming back.
Yeah, but I mean like not the shelf bra where you still have to wear a bra underneath.
No, they have the ones with the padding
with
in
the
them
cup with the cups like inside them. That's I love those.
They're
because
they're
it
back.
means I don't have to wear. I know I have a couple of them.
Do you?
I absolutely refuse to. I refuse to wear a bra. I own one and I wear it very occasionally on special occasions. Anyway, that in like a neutral color, then like a oversized button down.
So like the not a jacket,
Not
but
a
like
jacket,
flannel.
but like a not a flannel. I actually wore one today. I saw you today.
No, it was yesterday.
Oh, I saw you yesterday. I wore one today that was like, it's just like a white sort of striped.
Regular. Okay.
It's very light. It's like linen.
Oh, okay.
Like
Now I get
a
that.
linen. Yeah.
It sounds cute. Comfy.
And that's what I would wear.
See, like a
every day.
It sounds like you are, what was it, like effortless, cool girl chic? Is that what?
That's, yeah, you said like effortless, like laid back.
Laid back, yeah. Cool girl.
And I do feel like, yeah, laid back is the vibe for me.
Yeah, because you have like this effortless, like you'll throw your hair back and then you have like your curtain bangs, and I'm like, she just wakes up like that.
Listen, all credit for this hair, which actually does not look great right now because I was sleeping before we started recording this.
It's okay. I came home from the zoo and this is what we got right now. Okay.
All credit for this hair goes to Sam at Boho House. I owe her my life.
Very
I
nice.
owe her my life.
If I had my perfect outfit, for me, it's still going to be like fall's going to be my time of year. I'm going to be wearing skinny jeans, and I don't care if they're out of style or if I have to make them myself because they never make them again. I don't care. So it's going to be like dark wash, blue jeans, skinny jeans, pair of riding boots. I don't care how old this makes me. With or without the heel. Depends on the mood. And like knee-high ones. And a good, like, I don't know, t-shirt, like a good deep V-neck t-shirt like this, and my leather jacket, and I'm set. And some hoops. I'm definitely a hoops girl.
Yeah, I wear hoops pretty frequently. I have them on my desk.
You always have like cute little earrings.
Right here.
Yeah. So it's like, and some makeup.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm set for the world.
I didn't think about the wash of the jeans. It would be light wash for me.
I can see that because you do better with like pastels,
lighter
softer
neutrals.
tones. Yeah, some of that. Yeah, I can see that for you. Also, you have light eyes, so I think
Yeah.
knowing your color palette and whatever style that you like, or what, like, I don't care. Like, if you wear skirts all the time,
I did
whoever
get
you
some
are,
sundresses.
love sundresses. What is a sundress to you?
Oh, I saw that. I've seen this debate on TikTok.
I'm still trying to understand.
I think there's a discrepancy between what men think a sundress is and what women think a sundress is. I think that is where the line is drawn because men are like fetishizing the sundress, but I think they're thinking of something else than what a woman thinks of when she says sundress.
I think sundress to me is, if it has pockets, it's definitely a good dress. And
Yeah.
also it has to be flowy. Like we're not
Flowy. Yeah, but
flowy, comfortable.
whenever I see men like showing pictures of the sundress that they're talking about, it's like those bodycon.
I don't know where are you looking? Fashion
Yeah,
Nova?
probably. Or like, I don't know where they're getting the idea that that is a sundress. I saw one girl say, if I have to wear a jacket over it to wear it to church, it's not a sundress.
Okay, I get that.
Which I don't go to church, but
I understood that though.
I understand what she means
Yeah.
by that.
Like
Yeah.
if you feel like you can't wear it in front of certain audiences, whether it's
It's not a
church or
sundress.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like the dress that I wore the other day, I was a little like apprehensive. I was like, is it too low? And it wasn't. I don't know, I have boobs. I can't hide them.
I don't. I do.
You
but
do.
I nursed two babies with them and they are not as perky as they once were, and that's okay. So people talk about like getting work done.
Yeah.
I would never get anything done except I would consider getting a boob lift. I would consider it.
You can also do that yourself with exercises.
I know, but I don't want to exercise.
I don't want to exercise. I'd rather go under anesthesia and have somebody cut me open and lift them back up. So yeah, that's sorry, brain, have to like back up and rewind the tape.
Oh, we were talking about the sundress debate, but then that made me think of another thing that I've seen on TikTok, which is those girls that do like high maintenance to stay low maintenance.
Yes.
Have you seen that? I'm a firm believer in high maintenance to stay low
I didn't know
maintenance.
that was such a thing. And from seeing that on TikTok, I'm like, okay, well, I learned something. I actually laminated my own eyebrows. I still fill them in a little bit because that's just something that I like, but they're so much fuller because of the way that I laminated them. And I didn't get a separate kit from the lash lift. I used the same thing.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. No, I've been dyeing my eyebrows pretty much every week. I'm overdue to do it again.
You do it every week?
Every other week with like just for men. So anyway,
so you do
my brows,
beard tint.
I do a tan contour, like I use a self tan to contour.
Is that what you do?
And yes. And to like use it as basically a bronzer
I've seen that.
right here.
I've been too scared to.
And I love it. And I have done the lash lift, but I do that at home. And then I do teeth whitening at home.
I do teeth whitening at home. But I just did the lash lift a second time, and I'm actually like, it's been a couple weeks, so I permed them and then I also colored them like jet black.
Well, I heard this thing. It was probably on TikTok. It was like the uglier you go to bed, the cuter you wake up.
Yeah. So like when people have
like when they do the hair rollers and the lip tint that turns your lips funny colors.
Yeah.
And they have like their stuff under their eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do wake up prettier. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep it simple. Like I will do like once a month, I'll do the whole like laminate my brows, tint them, my eyelashes, and every couple days I'll like whiten my teeth.
I try to do every 2 weeks. Like because the self tanner wears off more frequently. So that is like on a once a week usually kind of thing.
I do contour, like I put some bronzer on today, but I just use a bronzing stick. And for me, because like I know how to do my makeup real quick, like within 5 minutes, and I'm done. They go all the way up.
So one thing I've noticed also as I get older is that I have, what is it called? It starts with an M, but it is when it's like discoloration, basically, like dark spots that I get when I get out in the sun, and it looks like freckles, but it's like in inconvenient places, like my upper lip, and it makes it look like I have a mustache because I get discoloration right here. So I started over the winter, I did a lot of like retinol, and now I am absolutely, you won't catch me without sunscreen on my face. You'll catch me without sunscreen on my body like all the time.
Yeah. But I think like that, going back into like your own sense of style, having like for you, skincare is something that's important to you. Low maintenance, what is it called? Low maintenance, high maintenance.
Being high maintenance to stay low maintenance.
There we go. Because you'll set the time frame to be able to like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna treat myself this way. This is how I'm taking care of myself. Like having my nails done, a good like no makeup look.
Yeah.
You look cute and ready, and there's some, like a little highlighter.
The color. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little thing there.
I feel like you always look put together.
Thank you. I don't feel like it. I feel like I always have to overcompensate, but I feel like that's, again, that goes back to what I was influenced by when I was younger. So like making sure that I look presentable, it's kind of like a guard, if you will.
Yeah.
So like having a sense of style and clothes, and I don't want to say the it girl, but like looking like I'm put together.
You definitely have like it girl vibes. You really do.
But I don't want to be the it girl unless like it's a positive.
No, you have like a gentle it girl vibe.
I like the it girl. I like that you called me an it girl, because in high school I would have been like, I am. You think I'm pretty?
Yeah, oh, definitely. So you agree? You think you're pretty?
You think I'm pretty? Yeah, that was definitely, yeah.
No, you're very pretty.
Thank you. So are you.
Oh, stop it.
You are. It's a Libra
Thank
thing,
you.
okay? Just take the freaking compliment.
Okay. I'll take the compliment. No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
We were saying you were pretty, and then before that, we were talking about being the it girl.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be the it girl. I do want to be put together though, and that is one of the things. Like when I asked ChatGPT what to help me identify my personal style, one of the things that it asked me was like, what is important to you when it comes to your style? And I was like, I think that one of the things that's most important to me is like looking put together. Because when I look put together, I feel more put together. And as a mom, that feeling is so rare that if I can get it anywhere I can get it, I'll take it, And so, but the problem is that my wardrobe doesn't match that.
No, I feel you on that. And also, I think too, and this is not going to relate to everybody, but somebody who's newly postpartum, like even though like I'm 7, almost 8 months in since giving birth, it's like my body has changed in great ways, and I absolutely love her, and I have a new appreciation for myself and my body, but things don't fit like they used to. Like mind you, I can still wear the same size jean I did pre-pregnancy, which is great, but some things could be a little tighter, some things could be a little, so it comes back to me now. It's like, okay, well, finding undergarments like shapewear, it doesn't even have to be like, we don't even have to say shapewear, but you feel comfortable with a cami that has a built-in bra that works for you. Do just in general, like what size you are, because some women or some people in general, their weight fluctuates.
Oh, yeah.
So some things fit great this time of year and others don't, or this works better. Like dresses may work for a person all year round, but also depending on the climate. And There's so many things. There's
There's so
many
many
rules
variables. Yeah.
when it comes to fashion. I feel like that's really what honestly like ticks me off with it. And this is a whole other tangent. Like we're supposed to be talking about like what's your style?
But I think that these things all go into your personal style. Like I know when I lived in Colorado, yeah, I was kind of leaning into a skater kind of style, but I was also leaning into a more outdoorsy style because I was hiking all the time. I was outside all the time.
So you dress
So
appropriately, yeah.
yeah. And so that became part of my personal style. And I was very into braiding my hair then because it kept it out
like
of
the
my
waterfall
face.
braids. I miss
Yep.
those.
I did a lot of different types of braids to keep my hair. Well, and where I worked, because I worked at the cafe, I had to wear my hair up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was often going from a shift at work, like to a hike. And so I wanted something that was going to stay put and keep my hair off my neck and all that. So that became part of my style.
And that's what
But
fit you then.
I do think that like becoming a mom was one of the biggest variables that really threw me off. Because it shifted my focus so much from thinking about that and thinking about myself in that way. And I was purely concerned with like my child and then my children. And I kind of stopped paying attention to myself, which I think is really, really common for moms, for parents in general, but particularly for moms.
But any caregiver. Yeah. For me, that was like a big thing was, and even talking to Isaiah about that, I didn't want to lose me in that. And if there was a way that I could still keep a sense of like my style, keep a sense of Candice. Like I know that there's a lot that I did have to give up being, I won't say give up. There was a lot that I had maneuvered in my life to be a mom. I don't want to say like give up because that to me just seems more negative, but I like to keep my hair down. I wash my hair like once a week. I curl it and I have waves the rest of the week usually. But I will say like this is a French pin. It's what I have my hair in right now. And I throw my hair up in a little bun and I put this in and I'm good for the day. And to me, it still looks presentable. My color, like my hair is colored. It looks cute. But usually I would love just to have my hair down. But my son's like in the point right now where he like pulls or there's more slobber because he has 6 teeth now. So instead of me just throwing it into a messy bun, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, this works. So I feel like this is still Candice, but this is still not trying to look like Adam Sandler mom. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I very much was Adam Sandler mom. I'm still Adam Sandler mom.
It's comfy. There's nothing wrong with it. We love Adam Sandler.
I really like that you were able to kind of keep.
I tried really hard. I fought that because even sometimes I feel like nothing fits. It's all terrible. Like I remember breaking down and still crying a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, what fits, what doesn't fit. Like
I mean, when I was a mom of a kid about Elijah's age, maybe it was a little bit earlier than that. I chopped off all my hair. My hair was longer than this. And I cut it up here to my chin because Ellie was pulling my hair and because I was tired of having to deal with it and tired of putting it up. And so I chopped it all off and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made with my hair.
Really?
I did not realize how much of my self-worth was wrapped up in my hair. And I cried for days after I got my hair cut. And all I wanted to do was grow it back out. I've had it that short again since then. Like during COVID, I chopped it really short again and dyed it purple because I needed to feel something.
Fair.
But
crazy things. Yeah.
But now I'm back to like, this is sort of where my comfort zone with my hair. Long hair, keeping it fairly light, like fairly blonde. And
looks good.
Well, thank you. Again, Sam. Without Sam, I am nothing.
I love that. And I think that's important too when it comes to like not just being a mom, but even if you're just a caregiver or trying to find your style is like, okay, well, if you have a tight budget, what are the things that are important to you? what are the upkeeps that you want to keep for you? So for me was like definitely me doing my hair. And I go to a hairstylist, Angelica. So hi, Angelica. I just would sit in her chair and be like, all right, this is what I want. This is the color that I'm kind of like wanting. And she went with it. And I like my hair long. Like I've cut my hair short with the lob. I don't know if you remember that back in 2017. Yeah, I cut my hair short. It was super dark, super edgy, moody vibe I wanted to go for. I changed my hair so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was important. Like my hair is important to me.
Yeah.
That, like you said, like your self-worth is so wrapped up in your hair. Yeah.
There's a lot of cultures out there that believe that your hair holds emotions and your hair holds stories.
It does,
and I think that there's something to that, because my hair before I had Ellie, like my hair grew like a weed when I was pregnant with her. That's why it was so long when I cut it. And I felt like when I cut it that I had completely chopped off and disregarded the story of my pregnancy with her. That's what it felt like I was doing. And I hated that. I hated that feeling. And then I also hated the haircut. So that didn't help. I think I tried to like find a style after Ellie was born. I remember getting into tight sweaters. I was very into like tight sweaters and, like you said, the knee-high boots, but they didn't work on me. I found Chelsea boots, and
I do love Chelsea boots.
That is my shoe.
It's your shoe.
Chelsea boots are my shoe.
Go-to shoe.
Or a little like Doc Marten combat boot type shoes.
I do. I love a good combat boot, especially now like that with like a cute like little skirt or something, a little edgy. But I think my go-to shoe is just like a ballet flat. I don't care how old that is.
Yeah. My problem is that like I don't know, man, what it is. When I turned 30, my feet started sweating and I can't stand ballet flats because my feet sweat so much in them. Like I have to wear socks or I have to be wearing sandals. Like my feet have to be breathing if I'm not in socks.
I understand that.
I got some Tevas sandals. My little fake Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Love those.
I don't like Birkenstocks. It's not my style.
Oh, I love a Birkenstock. I can't afford them though.
Or I don't know. There's a lot of shoes that are just like the most simplistic looking shoe, but they cost like $500.
Yeah, why?
I don't.
For what?
Oh, okay. Because like Birkenstocks, I think very like boho, 70s flower childs.
Like a hippie vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's where they originated. So that makes a lot of sense. But my Tevas are like, they're just brown. They don't have any designs on them or anything.
Brown.
They're just brown.
I love bright colors and I love patterns and stuff, but that's not something that I'll actually wear. I like a very neutral palette for myself. So like creams, blush tones, earth tones, maybe some mauve reds.
Yeah.
I'll do like burnt orange later on in the fall, like dark hunter green, like stuff like that. I love. Absolutely love. And also sage green is my favorite color.
Yes, we love a sage green. Well, I stick to solid colors except in dresses. And when I get a dress, it's almost always like a small floral print. And I just bought several small floral print dresses for the summer because none of my dresses from last summer fit. I started going through all of my clothes.
Yeah. Thanks to Chat GPT.
With the help of Chat GPT. And I got rid of a bunch of stuff. And I had to say goodbye to some of my very favorite mom jeans. Because I bought them when I was 2 sizes smaller than I am now. And I just don't see myself going back to that size. So I had to, and they're taking up so much space in my little tiny house. They're taking up so much space. So I had to say goodbye.
I'm proud of you, though, for letting go of that and not holding on like, oh, I'll get back into them. You're just like, no, they don't have a place here anymore.
They don't. It means that I'm down to like 3 pairs of jeans that I own.
Same.
Maybe we should go shopping.
We should go shopping. Where are we going?
We're going to the thrift store because your girl is broke.
I like going to the thrift store. This is a thrift store shirt.
I feel like thrift store prices have gone up.
They have. Because everybody's now like, thanks to, oh my God, what's that rapper?
Macklemore.
There we go. Yes, thanks to Malcolm.
That was a long time ago.
That was
it
12
can't
years
possibly.
ago. It's not, but that was 12 years ago that came out. It was 2012. Yeah. I know. I would have considered myself a hipster back then, but that's no longer a thing anymore. You know the beanies?
Oh, yeah.
But now I know that I can buy the good kinds that have a satin lining in it. So it doesn't do anything to... Is it worth the money? Yes. So then that way I don't have to, worry about my hair, because I'm one of those. I always worry about my hair.
No, but the hair pulled back, that's such a good look for you. You have such a nice face shape.
Thank you.
You have such a cute hairline. Like, I know that's a weird thing to call cute, but you have a cute
it's
hairline.
coming back.
I know. Mine never did. Mine never came back after I had my babies, ever.
No.
It's still, like, I have, like, huge bald spots right here because my babies took all my hair from me.
My babies took all my hair. You got cute
They
kids
did.
out of it, though. So
And I did get cute kids, and they have great hair.
they do have good hair. Yeah.
Their hair grows so fast I can't keep up with it.
I know.
Well, okay, another kind of angle that we haven't talked about with this is, what does having and owning your sense of personal style do for your kids?
That's a good, that is good.
Because I think my mom didn't have really a sense of personal style when I was growing up. That was like the last thing on her mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she was a good mom, and she was a very supportive wife,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a lot of jobs, you know, and I think we didn't have a lot of money, and that was another part of it. And so I think, like, the idea of identifying her personal style and curating her wardrobe to match was like very far from her mind. Now that she is older and I am like observing her as she's older, she definitely has a personal style, and she definitely has, like, now that she has a little bit more money to buy clothes, she has a very nice style, and I wish that she had been able to dive into that more when I was younger. And I wonder if having like an adult in my life that had more of a handle on their style, would that have changed how I approached my own, or how I even how I saw myself?
Yeah. I think as that visual, because that's your first influence, that's your first set. So like, I think you're right, because when it comes to me as like being a mom, being bare maintenance is done, teeth are brushed, hair's pulled back. Like, I brushed my hair sometime today in the morning. I may still have like sweatpants and a t-shirt on, tank top, whatever, because I'm home. But then Elijah sees like, oh, mom put on pajamas the night before. Now mom doesn't have pajamas. I don't know if he even sees that, but in my head, that makes sense to show him. We get up, we prepare for the day.
Yeah.
So like, that's seeing that visual, or having Elijah see that as a visual for me, that is important. And my mom has like the best curly hair, so pretty. And she would do like in the 90s, a big
bangs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then she'd do her lip liner and mascara and pull it up into like a big clip. And it would be this big curly hair. Because my mom always had big hair. And she would wear like, I remember this one dress she had when we were at church. It was like a light, I think it was gray or white, and it had all these really pretty roses all over it. And it was just like a t-shirt dress, but it had pockets, and it was just, she just looked so pretty. And it was her summer dress, and she had her pretty sandals, and it was nothing over the top, but that's what she would wear. And she'd throw her hair up in a French twist. You know what that is?
Yes.
Like, that was her thing. And it was always just like the simplest things, But I always remember, like she would wear mascara and some blush, maybe lipstick, but depending on the event. And now, like, my mom's, like, she loves wearing, like, she loves some bedazzled t-shirts and stuff. Not a lot, but just a little bit to make it, or like lace. She's like super into lace, like, which is a very 90s thing. So she has
Yeah.
a cool style. Yeah.
I mean, my mom did perm her hair.
Yeah, my
in the
mom always permed her
90s.
hair. Oh my God. I
So
learned
she
how to
did
perm
do
hair.
that. Well, my mom would go, and I don't think my mom permed her hair at home. I think she would go and get it done.
No. All the DIY stuff that I've learned early on in life came from my mother. Like how to put on fake nails, how to.
My mom still never gets her nails done.
That's not her
She
thing.
never has her nails done. It's not her thing. It never has been. She is a big time gardener, and she's a scientist. She teaches science at school, and so like her hands are her tools,
There you
and
go.
so
she
nails
has to
would get
keep
in the way.
clean, short
Yep.
nails, and that's her style. That's what works for her.
Right.
And your mom, I've met your mom. I think your mom's adorable. I think she's just so pretty, and she
Yeah,
just
she
kind of
is.
has like this like fun, easy.
She does have a
personality.
fun, yeah.
And
She's fun, and she's like kind,
She's very kind. Very
but she
sweet.
also very much like does not care what other people think about her.
And you shouldn't.
But she's like, yeah, I love my mom.
You're a good mom. I love my mom too. So moms, if you're listening, we love you.
We love you, moms.
Yeah, we do. All moms. So yeah, I think like for your mom, like you said, hands are her tools, so she has to keep very clean, short nail beds.
Yeah.
She's not doing all that other extra stuff. You like nails, but you're like, how do I do this on a budget? And I was like, hey,
Yep.
Target has this thing.
And I said, sold.
Yeah,
And now I do my nails at home. And I love it. It's therapeutic.
it is. It gives you your time.
And I like that Ellie sees me doing that and taking that time for myself and doing the things that I like that make me feel more put together. I'm glad that she gets to see that, and Zeke to an extent, although he doesn't care yet, that he doesn't like notice necessarily, but he will.
He will, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just me like reading too much, but I think boys that have a good relationship with their mom and seeing how, or even just observing how a mother figure is to them, they also perceive women out in the world that way.
Yeah.
So however Zeke feels later on, like female friends, he'll still have that space for them to be like, me time, and this is what makes me feel good, and having that understanding, and like, oh, okay, well, that's normal for
that's a good
certain
point,
women.
because that was not normal in my household. My mom taking time for herself was not normal in my household, and it took a lot of unlearning for me to feel okay taking time for myself and doing things for myself. So that's a good point.
Yeah, and I think that's important. So
Yeah.
but, you know, where do you find inspiration for your clothes or style or things? Where do you go? Good old Pinterest?
I think I used to go to Pinterest a lot. I don't use Pinterest so much for that anymore, because a lot of it feels not me.
Okay. You haven't trained your algorithm yet, have you?
I haven't. It's still stuck on like, 2016 Emilee.
So am I, but it's okay.
But it doesn't reflect what I want at this time. So I don't use Pinterest as much. I actually have no idea where I get my inspiration. I think it's mostly from the clothes themselves. Like if I'm in a store and I see something that I like, then I'm like, yes, that is what I want to look like.
I get that. What's like right in front of you, or if you see a picture or it's mannequins,
yes,
you're like, oh, a visual, like, okay. So
that
for me,
piece of that item of clothing, I would build an outfit around that item of clothing, because that is what I want to look like.
so usually when I'm in store, I like, if I see something, it's like, okay, well, what can I wear this with that I already own? And does it fit the closet? Because like I have a mental thing of what I own.
I wish I had that. And I am I'm a big believer in, for myself, not necessarily for other people, but for myself, in the idea of a uniform where I
Yeah.
have like, I'm a jeans, tank top, and overshirt kind of girl.
Perfect. See,
So
that's
if
that
I have
formula for
5 pairs
you.
of jeans, you know,
Mhm.
X number of tank tops, X number of overshirts, and I'm set to go.
See, I don't have a formula, and I can sit here and tell, like, explain it like we were talking about last episode about personal stylists and how they, and it's again, it's a formula. So you have jeans, undershirt, overshirt, and then from
Mhm.
there, it's like, is it a hoop day? Is it like Birkenstocks or my Chelsea boots to like style this up? But that is your base, and then you add layers to that, which is a style. For me, is it jeans? But where am I going? What it like to me, I have to think about where am I showing up to dress accordingly. But like I pull inspiration off of Pinterest, but one of the people that I really loved was Audrey Hepburn, and she did like this Parisian it girl chic. Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
really love the Parisian style. I like colors. I love a good, staple trouser or something that's
Yeah.
tailored, and then I can add whatever to it. So that's
Well, I mean, I just went through all of my clothes.
That's
So
good.
I'm very aware of what I have right now, but
Mm.
typically I would say I don't have like an inventory in my head like you do about like what I have. Going through all my clothes, I literally pulled all of my clothes out and stacked them on my bed
Mm-hmm.
and observed
Did
everything
you
that
do
I
the
had.
Marie Kondo?
No, I didn't
You're like,
condo it
no.
because that would have been too much, and I wasn't ready to like get rid of that much stuff. I just knew I needed to get rid of the stuff that didn't fit
Mhm.
and the stuff that I really really never wore. And so
That's great.
I narrowed it down a bit, but I realized that I have so many sweatshirts and hoodies, so many t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and I never even thought of myself as like a t-shirt person.
You are, yeah.
If my t-shirt collection is any indication, I am a t-shirt person. And then yeah, the jeans, I used to have a healthy collection of jeans, but because of my weight fluctuation and the way that my body shape has changed since having kids and being a mom, that yeah, I don't have enough pants.
Okay.
So that's my next. I'm gonna
We'll
have
grab
to
more pants.
research some pants.
Thrift store it is.
Thrift store it is.
I will say I last summer when I was super pregnant, that's all I can think of. Just remember I was pregnant forever. That's what I felt like.
Forever.
I wore dresses because that was easy for me.
Yeah.
And this summer I was like, okay, well, I tried on some denim shorts that I had 2 years ago because I like denim shorts.
I love denim shorts.
I like a good like cut off shorts.
Oh
And
yeah.
a tank top, and you're good for like you can't go wrong with that for the summer. Yeah, good pair of cutoff shorts. Yeah, light dark wash, whatever if it floats your boat, and a good tank top. You're good for the summer. Anybody can wear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever body type. That's you can't go wrong. And you can add or
You really can't.
I would add more. Don't subtract. But yeah, just like recently, I ordered a big clothing haul from Shein, and I know Shein's not your thing.
No, the sundresses that I ordered are from Shein because
Oh.
I couldn't afford anything else. And I owned zero dresses that fit me. The thing is, I take good care of my clothes.
Mhm.
And these dresses will be washed in delicate cycle on cold and hung up to dry because I will not ruin them in the dryer and they will last me a good long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that as long as you take good care of your clothes and you plan to make the pieces last, like
Yeah,
you
that's
get clothes where
important,
you
yeah.
can afford clothes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I tried going to the thrift store and just finding some dresses for the summer. I just wanted a pretty dress just to throw on, and if it had pockets, great. I could not find anything. If it was not super duper short, or it didn't look
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I belong in the Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, that too. One extreme or the other.
Yeah, you're either hoochie coochie or you are a nun. one or the other. Like, this
There's no in between.
yeah, like I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from there, and I got sets that have like the button down collar, like cotton and shorts that match, like the short sets. 'Cause I keep seeing that. And I mean, it's cute. Let's try it. I did try it on, and I got like a fun, like lime green color, which is not normally something.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I just kind of want to step out, and it had like nice buttons, but it's simple for me because, again, like I like simple clothing, like staple pieces, and I can either dress it up, dress it down, like that.
Yeah.
Having a good foundation of clothes.
I think this is kind of going back a little bit, but I think that I don't know how to word this. My son goes to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And we are there on scholarship.
It's great.
And a lot of the other parents who are not there on scholarship, I see them at like drop off, pick up, events, yada yada. And they all look so classy and put together. And I think that my hang up on my style has been, do I embrace the jeans and a t-shirt style that I kind of default to when that doesn't feel as put together to me as some of these other parents that I see who look very, very put together? Or do I just embrace it and make that look as put together as it can?
I would say embrace it and make it look as put together for you versus all of these other parents. And also, do they ride black SUVs or white SUVs? Okay.
Yeah.
You actually have a color to your vehicle. So
I have an orange SUV. So I don't know what that makes me.
A fun mom. It makes you a fun, cool mom for your kids. That's what that means. Listen.
I love my orange SUV.
I think your style, the vibe that you give off, the amount of like space that you provide for your kids, you live a good life, you are a good human, and screw everybody else and how they look and how they put together. Because those moms could just be like Instagram. One room looks like it's great, and then the rest of it's trash.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you. That makes me feel better.
I remember being at the NICU when Elijah was there. I remember the nurses when I would come in, because I was there every single day, and they were like, "You guys look so put together," and I'm like, I am literally trying to hold my shit together.
Yeah,
as being
hanging on by a thread.
I literally. Yeah. And at the time, I couldn't walk because I had gotten a C-section. So that's a whole other thing. But I just remember the nurses being like, "Your hair always looks so nice," because I was like, what else can I do? So like for me, the control that I could have was me doing my makeup and my hair before I would go and see my son. Or even when I was staying at the Ronald McDonald House, which is fantastic. I absolutely love them. I could get myself together, even though I didn't really sleep that much the night before. But it was kind of like me putting on an armor to then go be mom, to then go make sure my son was okay. Because if I looked presentable in my head, then I could handle everything else that was going on.
Yeah.
So that was the control for me. And I don't know how great that speaks volume for my mental capacity.
No, I think that's absolutely a normal response to feeling like your circumstances are out of your control, is to find the thing that you can control and control it.
Yeah.
And I think that was like as healthy a thing as you could have chosen to be the thing that you control. Yeah. That was like a really healthy response, instead of like just controlling, your alcohol intake or something like that, and or leaning into some other kind of disordered thinking that would get you to places that were really negative, that you decided that was going to be.
This is the one thing I could
going to be my strength.
Yeah. The one thing I could do is like, I'm in mom mode right now. Like, I'll show up. This is it. This is bare minimum for me. And this is where I go. So yeah.
And that was like a really long ordeal. And so for you to maintain
God,
that
that was so long.
through that whole thing, I mean,
Mhm.
that speaks volumes, I think, about your strength
Mhm.
and your ability to handle situations that feel out of control.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned a lot then, and trying to figure out like postpartum body and what feels good, what doesn't.
You wear what fits and you wear what feels good, and
And
that's
that's
the
what we
best you
did.
can do in a situation like
Yeah.
that. And he turned out great.
Kids, he's so cute. This perfect baby doll lashes.
And his perfect little haircut.
Thank you. He needs another one. It's growing so long. Last thing before we end this. Where do you shop? Where does that work for you? Do you try things on? Do you not? Do you know your measurement?
I used to keep track of my measurements and I don't anymore. I get things at Target and
Yeah.
I see them and I like them. And most of my jeans at this point have come from Target.
Yeah, same.
But I used to get jeans at Cotton On
Mm-hmm.
when they had they had the perfect mom jean. It was the perfect mom jean. And they stopped making it. And the ones that I have from them no longer fit. So those were the ones that I had to say goodbye to the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just shop at like normal, regular Target.
I don't mind Target, but sometimes Target prices. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, most of the stuff I buy from Target is stuff that I find on sale.
Yeah. That's usually where like I'll go digging through the racks. Or my big thing now is to find a lot of thrift store stuff. But I go in with what I have an idea of what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And like you had said, having a uniform. So now for me, it's like, it's not just a t-shirt, but like, let's have some blouses. Like there's a little bit more to a top. Like, is it a button down? Is it a tank top, but it has like a scallop neckline? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit more to it than just t-shirt, leggings, and my mom bun.
Yeah. I mean, I thrift shop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly haven't been shopping for myself. I mean, I ordered those dresses from Shein, but I haven't really like gone shopping with the intent to buy clothes.
I had to. I did like that big purchase from Shein, and I had all these coupons and everything, and it came out to like nothing, and I got like, I don't know, like 8 outfits or something, which is pretty good for me. And then I went through all of my clothes and got through, instead of the pile of, I'll get back into that, or I just got rid of it. Shorts, got rid of them. I'm like, I'm not even, you bring me no joy and you're going out.
I condo you.
Yes, I'm a recondo you. So I made sure I did that, and just kind of going through like, okay, well, what works, what doesn't. So I don't feel like, oh my God, I have to figure out what to wear today. Because I hate doing that. As much as I love clothes and fashion, I hate that.
So you're a thrift store shopper, you're a Shein shopper, and occasional Target shopper.
I'm always a Target shopper. I'm always a Target. Target tells me what to buy. But yeah, primarily for things like that, yeah. Amazon, as much as we probably shouldn't shop Amazon.
Yeah, I don't like getting clothes off Amazon because nothing ever fits the way I expect it to.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Fire alarm.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
See ya.
Bye.